The silent heartbreak I couldn't shake. Your shadow lingers where I walk. I hear your name in every thought. I held my love, I held my fear, but no one knew the pain was here. I whispered to walls, I whispered to skies. I held the sorrow, I held the cries. I cried without sound, I cried alone in a quiet world where no one knows. Every heartbeat, every sigh was a tear that fell from my eye. I cried without sound, my heart unseen, through the empty nights and spaces between. I loved so loudly, but no one heard. I cried without sound, not a single word. I walked the streets we used to know, every corner whispers letting go. I thought my heart could hide the ache, but love like this refuses to break. I kept your memory close to me, a fragile ghost no one could see. Even when I smiled, even when I tried inside, I quietly cried. I held my pain, I held my truth, a hidden river, a silent youth. I cried without sound, I cried alone in a quiet world where no one knows. Every heartbeat, every sigh was a tear that fell from my eye. I cried without sound, my heart unseen, through the empty nights and spaces between. I loved so loudly, but no one heard. I cried without sound, not a single word. Maybe one day the silence will break and the world will feel the love I gave. But until then, I'll carry it through the quiet tears I cry for you. I cry without sound, but I still love. Through the pain, the stars above. Every moment, every night, I held you softly in my quiet fight. I cry without sound, but you're still near, in every echo, in every tear. I love so deeply, though unbound, I cried without sound. I cried without sound. The world kept moving, but I stayed in the quiet place where we once lay. I watched the seasons fade and turn, hoping your heart would still return. Your laugh still lingers in the air, your scent still hides everywhere. I whispered love in empty halls, I waited for you through it all. I held my breath, I held my pain, hoping you'd come back again. I waited in the quiet through every night, hoping your shadow would bring me light. I loved in silence, I loved unseen. I stayed where your heart had been. I waited in the quiet through every tear. longing for you to reappear. I held my love, I held it true. I waited in the quiet for you. The clock kept ticking, the days grew long, but I kept hoping, I stayed strong. Every memory of you and me played softly like a melody. I spoke your name to the stars above. I filled the air with quiet love. Even if the world moved on fast, I kept the moments made to last. I held my hope, I held my fear, wishing that you'd come near. I waited in the quiet through every night, hoping your shadow would bring me light. I loved in silence, I loved unseen. I stayed where your heart had been. I waited in the quiet through every tear, longing for you to reappear. I held my love, I held it true. I waited in the quiet for you. Maybe love is patient, maybe it's small, but I'll wait in silence through it all. Even if you never hear, I love you softly, year to year. I waited in the quiet through every night, through all the dark. I held the light, I loved in silence, I loved unseen. I stayed where your heart had been. I waited in the quiet, forever I'll stay, holding the hope you'll find your way. I held my love, I held it true. I waited in the quiet for you. I waited in the quiet. I waited for you. I reached for you in the pouring rain, hoping your love would ease my pain. But your hand slipped right through mine, a warmth I thought would always shine. I whispered truths you didn't hear. I held on tight, I held my fear. Every heartbeat, every plea fell into silence you didn't see. I thought we had a chance to stay, but love can leave without a way. This was love that didn't hold me, left me alone when I needed you the most. I gave my heart, I gave it freely, but you let go and I became a ghost. This was love that didn't hold me, a fleeting dream that disappeared. I loved with everything inside, but your love wasn't near. I traced your name on empty walls, I listened for footsteps through the halls. I thought your heart was meant for me, but love can vanish quietly. I kept our moments in my mind, hoping some trace I'd still find. But the space between us only grew, and I realized what I already knew. I gave my all, I gave my soul, but some loves don't make the whole. This was love that didn't hold me, left me alone when I needed you the most. I gave my heart, I gave it freely, but you let go and I became a ghost. This was love that didn't hold me, a fleeting dream that disappeared. I loved with everything inside, but your love wasn't near. Maybe love isn't This was a love that didn't hold me, but I'll remember it gently, slowly. I gave my all, our love so true, even if it wasn't enough for you. This was a love that didn't hold me, but it taught me how to feel our love again, though not the same. Love that didn't hold me, still real. Love didn't hold me, but I still loved. I felt your hand slip through mine like water lost in the tide. We laughed, we dreamed, we almost stayed, but love has a quiet way to fade. I watched you smile, I watched you go. The warmth I knew began to slow. Every word I tried to say couldn't keep you from drifting away. I held on tight, I held my heart, but some things fall apart. You drifted from my arms so slowly. A love once near, now only echoes softly. I reached for you, but you were gone. I stayed behind, holding on. You drifted from my arms like a fleeting star. I loved you deeply, but we're apart. Every memory, every tear reminds me you're no longer here. The nights are cold, the days feel long. I hum the tune of our old song. I see your shadow in empty streets, a ghost of love I cannot keep. I whispered hope, I whispered fear, wishing somehow you'd still be near. But love has tides we cannot hold, and hearts like ours can grow so cold. I held on tight, I held my soul, but letting go was not my goal. You drifted from my arms so slowly. A love once near, now only echoes softly. I reached for you, but you were gone. I stayed behind, holding on. You drifted from my arms like a fleeting star. I loved you deeply, but we're apart. Every memory, every tear reminds me you're no longer here. Maybe love is learning to release, even when the heart doesn't find peace. I'll keep the warmth, I'll keep the spark, even though you drifted from my arms. You drifted from my arms, but I still feel the love that was quiet, the love that's real. I'll carry you in every beat, even if our hearts no longer meet. You drifted from my arms like a fleeting star. I loved you deeply, but we're apart. Every memory, every tear keeps you alive in here. You drifted from my arms, but I still love you. Mm. still remember how the morning broke, your silence louder than the words you spoke. We laughed before, but the light had changed. Everything familiar now felt strange. I reached for you, but you stepped away. The little things we said couldn't stay. I tried to hold on, I tried to mend, but some loves end before the end. I felt it coming in your eyes, the quiet storm, the slow goodbyes. The day we fell apart, the world went still. I felt the cold take over. What I will, I held your hand, but it slipped right through the love we knew, the me and you. The day we fell apart, I stayed behind with memories that on my mind. I cried in silence, I cried alone. The day we fell apart, our hearts turned stone. The clock ticked softly, the room was bare. I searched for you, but you weren't there. The words we needed were left unsaid, and now I sleep with them instead. I wonder if you remember that day, the quiet loss, the love that frayed. I try to smile, I try to breathe, but the day we fell apart still grieves. I hear the echoes of your voice, a silent choice, a broken choice. The day we fell apart, the world went still. I felt the cold take over. What I will, I held your hand, but it slipped right through the love we knew, the me and you. The day we fell apart, I stayed behind with memories that on my mind. I cried in silence, I cried alone. The day we fell apart, our hearts turned stone. Maybe love is meant to bend, to teach us how to break and mend. But some days leave scars so deep that even hope can barely creep. The day we fell apart, I'll always know the way the light left our home. I held your love, I held it tight, even when you walked out of sight. The day we fell apart, I still feel every moment, every unreal. I cried in silence, I cried alone. The day we fell apart, our hearts turned stone. The day we fell apart, I still feel it. I walked away, but my heart remained in the quiet streets where we first stayed. Your laugh still echoes in my mind, though your hand no longer fits in mine. I try to move, I try to run, but every step reminded me of what's gone. The love we shared, the time we knew, left a trace that still feels true. I wanted to leave it all behind, but my feelings didn't get the sign. My feelings stayed behind, even when I walked away. In every shadow, in every day, I loved you softly, I loved you kind, but my heart refused to say goodbye. My feelings stayed behind, a quiet flame, a gentle My heart remembers what's gone. I see your smile in passing streets. I hear your voice in whispered beats. I tell myself it's time to heal, but love like ours is hard to steal. I left the words, I left the place, but not the memory of your face. I carried us in silent ways through lonely nights and fading days. I tried to bury what I feel, but love like ours refuses to kneel. My feelings stayed behind, even when I walked away. In every shadow, in every day, I loved you softly, I loved you kind, but my heart refused to say goodbye. My feelings stayed behind, a quiet flame, a gentle echo calling your name. Even if the world moved on, my heart remembers what's gone. Maybe time will help me let go. Maybe the pain will fade slow, but even then a peace will stay in the quiet corners of yesterday. My feelings stayed behind, a silent song, a love that lingers, gentle but strong. I loved you freely, I loved you true, even when I had to leave you. My feelings stayed behind, a tender spark, lighting the shadows in the dark. Even if the world moved on, my heart remembers what's gone. My feelings stayed behind, and they still do. The tea is cold, the light is dimming in the hall. I'm counting every hairline, crack along the wall. I've memorized the rhythm of your heavy sleeping breath. Watching this connection slowly starve itself to death. I kept thinking if I held on, I could make the winter break. But I was just a dreamer, keeping both of us awake. My suitcase is a shadow tucked beneath the dusty bed, filled with all the maybe things we never even said. I'm a ghost inside a kitchen where the fire's gone to gray, just a souvenir of someone who forgot to walk away. And I stayed too long, I stayed until the light went out. I traded every certainty for a lifetime filled with doubt. I was waiting for a version of you that died a year ago, planting seeds in frozen ground where nothing's gonna grow. Now my heart is like a house that's been haunted by a song. I didn't just lose you, I stayed too long. I look at old reflections in the glass across the room, back when every touch was like a garden in its bloom. But now your hands are heavy and your eyes are looking through to a girl I don't remember and a man I never knew. is just another word for late. Yeah, I stayed too long. I stayed until the light went out. I traded every certainty for a lifetime filled with doubt. I was waiting for a version of you that died a year ago, planting seeds in frozen ground where nothing's gonna grow. Now my heart is like a house that's been haunted by a song. I didn't just lose you, I stayed too long. It wasn't that I didn't love you, I loved you far too much. I clung to every memory until I lost my touch. I survived the arguments, I survived the quiet rain, but I couldn't survive the slow, dull ache of staying in this pain. I stayed too long. I stayed until the light went out. I traded every certainty for a lifetime filled with doubt. I was waiting for a version of you that died a year ago, planting seeds in frozen ground where nothing's gonna grow. Now my heart is like a house that's been haunted by a song. I didn't just lose you, I stayed too long. The door is finally open, the air is finally cold. I'm leaving behind the only story that I ever told. I'm sorry, I stayed too long. The bed feels empty, the room feels cold. Your laughter's gone, the story's untold. I reach for memories, but they slip away. A quiet shadow where you used to stay. The clock ticks slowly, the walls don't speak. I search for you in every creak. I try to move, I try to heal, but nothing fills the space after you. I thought I'd be strong, I thought I'd be fine, but love leaves echoes that refuse time. The space after you, it holds my pain, a hollow heart, a lingering rain. I loved you loud, I loved you true, but nothing remains after you. The space after you, it whispers still, a silent echo I can't feel. I reach for warmth, I reach for light, but it's only shadows in the night. I see your smile in passing streets, I hear your voice in empty after you I carry deep.